Moving on to financials. So these are the app updates we've got to the financials modules of Business World. Changes to the maintenance of open items for accounts receivable in web. Remittance window redesign in web. Batch input for error transactions reports now available in web. Batch input maintenance window has been redesigned, and the import customer or supply window is available in web now. Account groups window has been added to web. New objects added to the reporting section, and new web services for batch input and reversal processes. New parameters have also been added for the AT28 server process, which is for project imports and proposals. It's now possible to change complaint date, complaint code and reminder levels for multiple selected open items at the same time in AR. And this is all in one step. So if you've got multiple items that you want to change, you can do that. There's three main steps to this. First, set up the visibility of the button for changing the data. Select the customer and the open items that you want to change, the multiple items. Enter the new data and save it and it updates. So first thing to do is go into window options and make sure that the change is visible. So the change data is visible. And then what you then do is put in your customer, select the selection criteria at the top in terms of the data you want to bring through, and then down the left hand side of the screen select the records that you want to change, and they've all got to be changed in the same way, because once you then click on the change data button here, that will give you the ability to change all of three of those items as we saw there together in one go. Enter the changes into A and B, and then click on OK to change, and then save, and that will update all three records at the same time. Remittance Proposal. This screen has changed and was previously the maintenance of Remittance Proposals, which was the TSU006. It's now just called Remittance, and the screen behaviour has been changed. Use this window to change remittance proposals before running the remittance confirmation, and it's also been adjusted to standardised batch input maintenance behaviour. You can now run the confirmation process from that window directly from the proposal screen, as well as rerun proposals and also confirmation. All actions have been added as buttons instead of positions in the menu, as they would traditionally have been done. And also any unnecessary sections have been removed from the screen. The error transactions can now be run as a report called error transactions. It runs a list of errors generated during either batch input, trigger transaction postings, or any other automatic postings. This is required for part of the reversal of transactions process, and errors already corrected are not shown in this report. The import customers or supplier screen is now available in web. It's currently available in desktop, but it's now been added to the web. The difference on the web is the creation of subsections to reduce the number of columns. So by the fact you have the columns here, but then if you click on the line, it opens up the subsection detail underneath. The import transaction screen is used to amend a batch of transactions that fail to load. Currently in milestone 6, this is batch input maintenance, but now it's called import transactions. Again, subsections have been created to reduce the quantity of columns in the grid at the top, and you now have the ability to trigger imports directly from the screen rather than from a menu. Account group screen. It's used to create up to 5 levels of account groups for chart of accounts. So from accounts on to P&L, balance sheet, and it helps with flexible reporting. Additional validation is available on the web for account group connection to any chart of accounts, and also for account group connection to another account group as a parent. And if you try to delete anything that is connected in either of these ways, then it breaks the delete operation. So it's a secure process so that you don't end up with any orphan data in the system. In the reports section for accounting, they've enabled you to view reporting information. You can now filter and customize objects to include or exclude various information you require. And the following objects have been added into the latest release: import customers and suppliers, which the screen we looked at earlier, account groups, and also, as we've shown here, the note portfolio, where you can drag the columns into the sort by and group by, and you can carry out various analysis of the data for those 3 new report windows. As discussed previously, existing batch input web services have been extended, where the parameter has been changed to list a simple type of parameter. So it's easy to map data from element types to parameters in the web services. Now every field on the transaction is here as a separate parameter, as opposed to the import service, which has previously had the whole transaction restored as a single parameter value using web services. Parameters. The project import proposal 8028 has now got the period added as a new parameter, and that is the end of the finance section.